everybody. My name is Donna Feazell. I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, as well as Abundant Television. We are syndicated worldwide, and you can find us on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget, you can also find us on netnewsnetwork.net. We are very happy to have a podcast there as well. We've been talking about the shape the country's in right now, and you really were worried about the supply chain. Will there be groceries on the grocery shelves, what have you? Good thing us gardeners are coming into hand. So I'm going to show you what I've been doing, and I'll let you take an overview in just a few minutes. But right now, I want to show you how I've been working with concrete blocks, because you guys know I'm really busy with the show. So there's not a whole lot of time to go around, so I've got very little time for weeding. But there's a couple of things I want to do before we get started. And first of all, you got to make sure you stay hydrated, okay? And this is how I do it. Okay, this is my little cup right here. I have water, and then I also have some ice in it. And I love my basil. There's something about basil that's such a relief to you. So let me tell you what I do. I like to break, now this is my own basil. Okay, so I have, and I'll have to tell you, the more you cut the basil, the quicker it grows for some reason. So this is what I like to do. I like to get it and I like to break it. Okay, so what that's going to do is release the oils that are in there, the beneficial oils that are available in the basil. And so you're going to find you're not as tired. You're not going to have to take so many breaks and that kind of thing. And I know we should all be dead from using a hose pipe, but I actually refill using a hose pipe. 63, not dead yet. So anyway, I'm going ahead and break those leaves, and I'll shake it just a little bit, put my cap on, refreshing water. So you got to make sure you stay hydrated, okay? That's number one. Now number two is kind of, I don't know if you call it a beauty secret, I'm not sure that's what it is, but before I go out and before I even put my gloves on, because I promise even using gloves, what's going to happen is dirt is going to get into my fingernails, okay? And I may even break a few fingernails. So this is what I like to do. This is my soap. I make my own soap. This is a lye blend, by the way. Has a little bit of shea butter in it. So what I do is I scratch the soap. And what it's doing is putting the soap between my fingernail and my fingers. So what's going to happen is I'm not going to have all that dirt to have to clean. You know, a lot of folks say, well, I don't like to garden because, you know, it's always getting into my fingernails. This stops it. Okay, again, get me a bar of soap, and I'm scraping that soap with my fingernails. I'm doing a couple of things. First of all, I'm saving my nails. And another thing I'm doing is I'm saving a little work when it comes time to not be working in the garden. Okay, so I've done that. Then I'll go ahead and put the gloves on. And you really need to wear gloves. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to put one glove on. Oh, before I finish, another episode coming up pretty soon. I'm going to show you how to make these out of tin cans. These are pretty awesome. We don't throw anything away on this farm. So you can have some beautiful artwork in your garden, and it's going to look really nice. So I'll go ahead and just place it right here in this bed. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you, and I'll go ahead and put the camera down. So what we've done, make sure I've got it pointed to the right spot, and I think I do. So I'm going to put some of this cut grass right here. So this is actually some grass that, you know, Phil cuts the grass, and he has this little, I don't know what you call it, this little thing in the, behind the lawnmower, and it's a bag, and what he does is all of the grass clippings, he saves those for me, and we'll throw them somewhere out in the yard. These have been actually doing their work since the last time he cut the grass, which was probably in October-ish or so, and it's really rich. So what I'm doing is making my own compost inside these, the little, you know, I told you about concrete gardening. I love my concrete gardening. And again, I'm spending a lot less time weeding and that kind of thing too. So let's go ahead and draw it just a little bit closer. Now you're going to have to see me peek into it just to make sure I've got it at the right spot. So let's look. I think I need to go down just a bit right here. Okay, now down in the concrete, I've already put some of the cardboard. I like to do that first. and they call it lasagna layering. So this is some, now you got to wet it, okay? So it's really got to look mushy. And let me give you some rules also on using cardboard. Okay, it can't have any kind of a waxy film on it. Okay, and also if you have tape, you need to take all of that off as well. So what I'm going to do, again, I'm kind of mimicking a compost pile. My hose pipe out of the way. So what I'm going to be doing is, I don't know if you can see, but right here in this wheelbarrow is some of the grass clippings that we had left over from last year. Now I have some also in my compost pile, but I wanted to save some, again, so I can kind of make my own little mimic of a compost pile down here. So there are 2 blocks thick. So what I'm going to do on the bottom, I'm going to layer cardboard, and then I'll also get some of this grass and put it in here as well. Then I will be using my dirt. I'll put that on top of it. Then I'll go ahead and plant the seeds. Now, here are some butter beans I planted over the weekend. I don't know if you can see those. And they're already doing really well. Now, I started these from sprouts. And also, I'll walk you around and let you see some more things in just a few minutes. But here are some peanuts I set out. Now, I got these ready by sprouting them. You got to keep them watered. Key is water. Okay, don't flood them, but you also want to have some water going on for them. Okay, all right. So, let me show you some sprouts. I'll be setting these out a little bit later today. Now, these are snow peas. I hope you can see them. Look and make sure that, yeah, I think you can, right here. Okay, so these are snow peas. All I did was got some seeds and I put them in paper towels, and I've kept the paper towels damp. And this is what you get out of them. It kind of gives me a head start, so when I'm out here planting everything in here, and they're healthier in case we get one of those really weird frosts, which you could do in the state of Alabama at any time. We could have, I don't know, swimming weather one morning, and then the afternoon a frost might hit. We could even have snow, who knows. The weather is just really weird in this neck of the woods. But anyway, these are snow peas, and I'm really excited about getting these planted as well. And to also show you a few purple hulls that I planted over the weekend. And I planted more than I thought I was going to use. So Cheryl Baker came by and dropped me off. She's from Baker Farms, and Cheryl dropped off some plants for me as well. I'll be setting those out. But right now what I'm going to concentrate on is showing you how you can go ahead and get these things ready, okay? And help me keep up with what time it is, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and set my clock and with the timer and make sure we're ready to go. Okay, in just a couple of minutes we're going to be going into a commercial break. All right, let's put the other glove on. I've got to make sure I've got this where you can see it, so you can see how we start our own little compost pile, okay? I think that might be best. So this is the one we're going to start with, the one that actually has the flower. That means I need to move it over just a bit. Okay, let's move this back. I want you to get a full view. I know it's not as good as a feel we're working the camera. But anyway, here we go. So this is where the flower is. Moving back just a bit so you can see more. Okay, we'll start with this one right here, because I know, or this one, or this one, or this one. Okay, I know you can see this one. So let's just go ahead and start right here, okay? All right, so I've got some cardboard, and again, it's wet. Now you know it's ready when you can do this. Yeah, cardboard, you know, it's hard to do anything with. So when you can tear it this easy, it's ready, okay? In a few minutes, I'm going to show you the box I use, and I keep water in it, and I keep all the cardboard in it. Okay, so let's go on ahead and put some of this. I have some already in the bottom, right here. So let's go ahead and break that up. Again, we're using the lasagna method, and I'm hoping you can see this. Okay? All right, now let's go ahead and put some of the grass in here. Again, I'm making my own little compost pile. Okay, so let's put some right in here. We're making a little lasagna. Well, not real lasagna, but we're making lasagna. And so I am looking just to make sure you can see that. Okay, looks good. And some of it's in clumps, and I just wanted to show you what this looks like. Okay, so take a look at this. And you can see how beautiful that's looking. It's got brown and it has gray in it. So that's really going to help you with your gardening. Now I've got to break it up, so let's go ahead. I don't want clumps of it in there. I want it broke up. All right, that's enough of that. Let's go ahead and put some more of the cardboard in here. Okay, I'm going to break up some more. Now I'm also patting it down, okay, because I really want it to go down there just as much as possible, okay. Let's put some more of this grass in here. And I'm telling you, you know, the thing about gardening, people keep telling me about, is when you're gardening, it costs so much to garden. You know, because you've got to get compost, you've got to get this, you've got to get that. And it can be expensive, but if you'll think ahead of time and going ahead and get your grass clippings, going ahead and start a compost pile, it takes about a year in your compost pile. It takes about a year for it to be really good. And when you do that, you're going to have some compost that looks a lot like that. And is that not beautiful? That's just a beautiful thing of art right there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put some of the dirt in because I want this to kind of be doing its thing. I've got a couple of wheelbarrows. One's got the composted stuff, and I'm kind of mixing it around just a bit too. I'm twirling it with my hands. Okay, and see, I'm saving my fingernails because I've got soap in them. Let's go ahead and put a little bit more of this. And I just want to show you, this is a great example right here of this clump. Okay, so this has been setting out. It's been outside. It's been in the winter time. It's been in the fall and then the spring, and it's just got a beautiful texture to it. See, it's already composting. Now again, I'm not going to put the clump in like that. I'm going to break the clump down. So here we go. I'm breaking some more of the clump down. And again, I am further causing a compost pile. And then guess what? Next year, the dirt down in the bottom of this is going to be awesome. So as the years go by, it's even better and better. Now, another important thing is you also need to make sure that you are rotating your crops. And that's another really awesome thing I learned. Brian Bain has been teaching classes, or Brian Brown has been teaching. Brian Brown. Brian Bain is the mayor of Fort Payne, Alabama. But Brian Brown has been teaching the classes through Auburn Extension, and I've picked up so many really good, awesome tips from him, which has been really good. And one of those is rotating crops. And if you'll notice, if you plant your tomatoes in the same place year after year after year, you're not going to get near the yield that you need to be getting. And it can cause disease to come in. So here we go. I'm putting more dirt into this. Okay. And I'm packing it down. And I'm looking, we're going to have to go into a commercial break in just a few minutes. But let's go ahead and pack this down, okay? Oh, and another thing I like to do, my dirt, I like to wet it. I don't want it soaked, but I want to wet this stuff so it's real easy to work with, okay? Now, let's go ahead and plant something. Okay, let's go ahead and plant, let's plant this bean right here. Okay, now this is a pinto right here, and this is something I did in my hydroponics garden, and so this thing was taking over roots like crazy. Let's go ahead and check it out and see how the roots look in this. By the way, don't throw anything away. Anything that you've had growing with, hold on to it, okay, because you're going to need it. Got to make sure it's something now that can drain. See the holes down the bottom of this? That's why I kept it. I don't throw anything away. Some of my friends actually give me gardening things. Now I'm going to kind of play right here. I just want you to see the roots. And these are roots from using the hydroponics. Take a look at those. Aren't they beautiful? This is going to be nothing but a success. And look, there's one little pinto bean growing already. Look at it. Okay, let's go. I'm going to take the little dead flower off. Okay, let's go ahead and stick him down into the ground. I've got a pinto bean. Another thing I like to do is keep tabs on what it is, because after a while, after gardening, you're going to have let's go ahead and put a little bit more of this in here. You're going to forget where you planted what, and some of them just kind of look the same. Now I'm planting some more of that dirt in here, but I'm going to top it off with some dirt, okay? So I've got some of that going on. Here we go. All right. I think that looks fabulous, don't you? I like the way that looks. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit more dirt in it. It's got to have all the nourishment it can, okay? There we go. Now I'm going to go on ahead and stick this in here so I can remember that's where I put a pinto. Okay, folks, we've got to go into a commercial break, and I promise you I'll be right back in just a minute. Shading off. I'll be right back. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. Let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC take the burden off you for all your tax needs. I know because Rhonda has been taking care of my business since 2013. I feel Rhonda works for me because she knows the direct questions to ask to better benefit my unique business in order for me to get back the biggest refund possible. Rhonda is an ongoing student, and she knows tax laws are in a constant change every year. Call 256-281-9903 for an appointment to take the dread out of getting your taxes done. Rhonda is located at 11968 U.S. Highway 431 in Boaz. Again, that number is 256-281-9903. And let Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC champion your personal and business taxes. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. Okay, everybody, I am back. I'm Donna, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. Y'all seem to be liking these little planting episodes. This is a show where we do it all. We talk about politics, we talk about planting, we talk about what am I going to do in case a crisis happens. Well, I'm taking care of you, okay? I'm showing you some basics on how to plant a garden. And these are pretty cool basics, okay? So you're going to really, you're going to love, now you can't be lazy if you're doing gardening. I mean, you got to be at it, and you have to really get out there. You got to water them, you got to check the weather, you got to check everything. I mean, everything's got to be just right in doing this, okay? So anyway, I just wanted to show you some basics. We went ahead and planted one of the pintos. Now, what I'm going to have ready for this pinto plant, let me step back so you can see what I'm talking about. For this plant right here, I'm going to have some stakes, okay? And I'll show you in another episode on how to do that once this thing starts growing. But this right here came from using the hydroponics garden system that I have. Now, the only thing about the hydroponics with beans is the seeds are so big, and what's going to happen with these beans right here, that's such a big root, it's going to take up a lot of space in your hydroponic system. So what I found, this is an experiment, and you guys have been helping me with this. So as for the experiment, only 1 out of 10 plants is going to come up because the roots get so big that they kind of hog the plant system within the hydroponic system. So the best thing I found is the old-fashioned way, and this is by sprouting the beans. And again, this worked out great. These are snow peas. I'm going to be setting these out as well, okay? Now your hydroponics, you can use that all year around, and I'll be using the hydroponics with lettuce all through the year, because I'm going to tell you what, it gives you the best lettuce yield ever. And I don't like spending $5 a head for lettuce. I know you don't either. So it's well worth it. And I've got a link I'm going to be sending you when this show airs. And you can go ahead and order your hydroponics. It's PVC, and it's already put together for you. And it's actually cheaper than going to the hardware store buying the PVC. So it's already put together. There's some tricks to doing that, and I'll do another show to show you how to put this thing together. But there are things I've learned what to do, and also a few things I've learned what not to do when it comes to hydroponics, okay? All right, I think we can do another one. Let's do another one. Or had you rather I just kind of walk you around? And because we've got about 6 minutes left in this particular segment. Let's see, what else can we do? Okay, let me just walk you around. I planted a few things, some beans that I had sprouted over the weekend. So I planted some of those. I'm going to raise this up. Okay, I'm going to turn this thing around, and I'm going to show you what you can do, okay? I'll turn it around like so. No, I guess I'll have to do it the other way. Sorry about that. Okay, now, take a look at these. These are peanuts. Now, remember the peanuts, I told you about them. So you'll start with a little peanut, and I put him and I sprouted him. And so look, see, I planted him over the weekend, and he already has some green coming out. Now, what's going to happen with the peanuts, we're going to make, in a later show, we're going to actually have some peanut butter that we're going to be making. So in another show, I'm going to show you how this thing grows. As they grow, I'll show you how they work. So what happens is, so you've got some of these little green leaves. They're precious, okay, so take care of them. But I have these little green leaves, and what they're going to do is grow up. Then they kind of turn and go back down into the ground. So by using this hydroponic system, what I'm going to have to remember to do is come out here every day until he gets settled, and I'll have to put those little limbs or those little stems down in here into the ground so that it knows to go back down into the ground. It's just a weird thing about the way peanuts actually grow. And so they're all doing really well. Now I wanted to show you what I do every day. And by the way, Phil put this plastic down, so that also helps prevent having to weed all the time. So what we've done, I've done this right here. So I go to the thrift stores and I buy these old, they're only like usually about $1 or so. And this is a heavy duty one as well. And so I save these, I collect water in them when it rains. And then what I do is I keep my, and it's kind of composting. See, it's ahead of the game right here. So it's composting. And another thing that you got to remember is before you put this down and use it for a compost, you've got to remove tape. And again, this can't be anything that has any kind of a wax on it. And see, look, this is already ready. I can go ahead and throw this into the garden. See how easy that was to tear off? Yeah, cardboard can be. All right, let's walk around. I'd like to show you right here. Now, I think I'm going to say these are probably, these are my aunt, we call them Aunt Elizabeth seeds. You know, my aunt who's like 101 years old. And this is when I sprouted the peas, okay? And this was, and make sure you keep good notes. So I sprouted these peas back in April 1st, April Fool's Day. And so they sprouted out, and see how, look, those are pretty. I'm going to say they're probably butter beans because they kind of looked like it. Now let's walk around. We looked at a few. See, this is a peanut, and see, look, see how they start doing this? It kind of divides. It goes into 2 leaves, and I'm going to have to train it now to go back down into that ground so that it doesn't try to come over here and go into this one. Got to keep them together. Okay, now you saw the sprouting right there. Purple hulls. There we go. All right, now here are some of the plants I'm going to be setting out. And a bunch of these came off of the hydroponics. This here also is pintos. See, look. See how beautiful that is? Now, these have all been inside, and they're screaming to come outside. Okay, and then right here are some sunflowers. Now, these are the Russian, that's some more purple hull right there. So these are the Russian variety of sunflowers. I can hardly wait to see what they look like, and the bees are going to absolutely love them. Okay, and then here we go right here with some tomato plants. Now, a bunch of these came from my friend, there's some celery, came from Cheryl Baker at Baker's Farms, and I encourage you to get in contact with her. You can find her on her Facebook page. It's Baker Farms, and they're out in Mentone, Alabama, so you need to go check her out. You'll get some nice, healthy plants from her. Okay, so these are green beans. Now, all of these, again, I sprouted them, okay? Put them in paper towels. And see how beautiful they are? They're doing their thing. Now, I've experimented on a couple of them. I don't know if these are going to come up or not, so we'll go through this journey together. So what happened is the leaves came off. I went on ahead and planted them in the ground because the roots still looked good. So we're just going to see what happens to these two. Okay, and then on and on and on. Here we go. And so the green beans are coming up. And again, I got kind of a head start because I started sprouting them inside. Now I've got another experiment going on, and here are some that the leaves were not on. I'm putting them all down into the dirt. We'll see what happens. Now these are my purple hulls. Okay, so I'll show you what they look like. Purple hulls, and oh, I love purple hull beans, and these are going to be really good. Now what I'm going to do with mine, I don't can them. So what I do is leave them on the bush. They're going to get really, really big. I'll leave them on the stalk. And then what's going to happen is they're going to dry. And they're going to start drying in those holes. So instead of shelling them and canning them, I dry them. And Phil likes them better anyway. Because, you know, they're just, the juice on them is thicker. He likes the soup to be thicker. And so he likes that better. I'm going to take my glove off because we're just about to leave for the day. This is the compost pile from last year, and then this is the grass cuttings that we had. And make sure that you dry it out all the way, because if you don't, and you don't pick out all of the grass seeds, you're going to be in a heap of trouble, because inside this garden, and by the way, only 2 deep, okay? So that's what it looks like on the inside. Okay, I hear the dog. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Donna. I'm your host on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. Find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, Abundant Television found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And make sure you check out netnewsnetwork.net. Bye. It's good to see you.